Welcome to The Force Always. This is a bit of a late review for the movie Air by a Star Wars fan. That's me, a Star Wars fan, not the Star Wars fan, but anyway, let's get straight into it, the review. So straight off the bat, I'm going to give this film 8.5 out of 10. Now, without the reviews that have been happening, which is quite, up there, I had a strong feeling about this film from the get-go, from the title, to the idea, to the director, to the cast, to the everything. It was definitely, the acting was great. The story was probably not as impactful as I thought it would be. I did learn some things. I sort of knew a lot of things about it, being a big sneaker freak myself, into Nike. It did lack a bit of punch, this film. Don't get me wrong, I love the film. It was really good, informative, and it's a real sort of steady paced dialogue type film, which is what you'd want it to be. But I think the story itself, it was just like, all it was a business deal that turned out to be great. Yes, it is the greatest shoe or fashion statement probably ever in the world, but it just wasn't a remarkable, amazing story that maybe deserved a movie. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a well-deserving movie, but I think it just lacked a bit of punch. Probably the two areas in this film that I thought was not super duper. The music choices in this was obviously marking the time and era, which is great, but the way that the music was inserted, it was like trying to constantly remind us of the hits of that era, rather than the music sort of making sense to all the particular scenes it was in. Classic 80s stuff. The one that I related to was when Run DMC, My Adidas or Adidas played, and they were sort of going towards, in the particular film, to an Adidas or Adidas setting. There was relevancy, but it seemed to be inserted, and it played like a little part of the song, and it's faded out. It seemed to be like the greatest hits, the way it was sort of put in there. The only other part I thought was a little bit long, and I thought it could have been done better in a directing form, was that all the information with the credits down below of, all the historical points of Nike or Jordan himself and things like that, and just all the plays in the game. It just could have been done better. It was just a little bit sort of a bit too easy. I think it would have been nice to see someone like maybe Jordan appear at the end, sort of maybe saying these particular sort of credits or something like that, sort of, really capping it off. But it was interesting because throughout the whole film, the basis of the deal with, this is sort of a bit of a spoiler, but at the same time it's a life spoiler. The basis of the deal was the mum really pushed that every time his name appeared on any merchandise, especially shoes, Jordan would get a cut, which is, fair enough. But it's funny, the actual movie is named Air, not Air Jordan. I'm curious to know if Jordan himself or the family would get a cut from this film only because it was called Air, not Air Jordan. Even though it's about the Jordan, it would have been better for this film to be actually called Air Jordan, even though that's a bit sort of maybe in your face, and but it really is more about Jordan than Air. So this film was definitely worth seeing. I don't know if you'd really want to see it at the cinema. It's not really, sort of epic sort of feeling. Or it does look for me. I like going to the film. I like going to the cinema, so I think it's great. The amount of people in the audience where I was today, being a week and a half old film, was actually quite good. Not great, but quite good. You could just wait for streaming service, or if they have DVDs of this anymore, I don't know, or anything like that. You could wait for that, but it's definitely a worth see. It just gives you a little bit of more information, as a live sort of education to the brand and Jordan and things like that. That's it. It was very good. It just lacked that punch. The punch of like being a real impactful moment. I know the brand is, a big impact to society, as I've said a number of times already in this video, but in various ways. But I don't know, it just lacked a little. I wasn't taken by the film completely, and that's it. But it was, let's just get it straight. It's a very good film, worth seeing on the big screen if you're a lover of cinema, which I am, which I'm sure some of you guys out there are. And so it was, it was a good breath of fresh air compared to the movies I do review, which is more sort of blockbuster, sort of heroic fantasy type thing, which is, I'm a film person, rather than just a Star Wars fan. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I love all types of movies. Anyway, so that is my review of Air by a Star Wars fan. That's me, that's David Zammit, aka Diz, or the other way around, whatever you like to say. And as I say it every single time in my life, not just in these videos, keep rocking. Woo!